Coach, when you had a chance to go back and break down the film, I mean, obviously there were some drops in the ball game. Any commonality to it, and how did you address it?
Not necessarily, but drops. And in our offense, and when you throw as much as we throw, and you throw as many kind of hopefully high percentage passes, if you don't hit them, you're in trouble. So yeah, the 3rd and 2 that we dropped was a pretty critical play in the game to me, and we've got to be able to execute that thing. And again, as receivers and as a receiver coach, you always like to know if you play well and catch the ball, we win. And if you don't play very well and you drop the ball, you're in for a long night, especially versus a good team. So hopefully we can get back and be a little more proficient this week.
We've heard y'all talk a lot about whether offense or defense. You want to see guys earn trust on special teams first and then start getting reps on offense or defenses. Where does that kind of stand with Xavier and being able to?
Well, being on special teams just means you're involved in the game. I'd much rather see a guy a lot more better on offense, a lot more skilled as a wide receiver than he is a special teams guy. But as a young guy to come in and get on special teams just means you get to be involved. You get around, you get to practice, you get used to being in the fire. So for Xavier to have that opportunity to do what he did certainly gives him a chance to get on the field and play all over the place, and to show he can be trusted with the ball in the air and the ball in his hands. He did for a true freshman, first time going into that stadium and returning as well as he did was, knock on wood, pretty impressive.
True freshman just last year. Robert Thomas leads the team in receiving so far. What have you thought of his play through 3 games?
Well, he had 2 drops last week, so you're only as good as your last game. Outside of that 1 touchdown he caught, which was elite. The 2 catches he had were really, really good. But 2 drops on 2 plays that if he catches it, honestly, both the plays, he makes a really, really big game. So, again, huge emphasis on consistently good, not occasionally great. And that's what we got to do. We're a good team, and we play a lot of good teams. And if we're going to beat teams, we have to be consistently good. We have to be. So, room to improve, and hopefully we can get back to that.
You've seen Tulu obviously make some plays, in special teams asset. There was that 1 screen pass he had. It seems like he got going. I guess, is that something you could see more of just to make sure, he's getting the ball, getting involved? Is some of those screens to him?
Sure. And most of the screens we've thrown have been pretty good. But, yeah, he's probably better than anyone at them. And he is. He's kickoff return, he gets the ball, and he takes off. Screens, that little hitch pass, he's caught 2 or 3 hitches and going about 20 yards. So, no, he is talented with the ball in his hands, and we need to find more ways to get it to him.
You've mentioned before you have some simple criteria. Get open and catch the football, and you've had some guys get open and catch a football. How do you evaluate them maybe in season, maybe change your depth chart a little bit, change the rotation?
Still try to remain the same with that. We grade all these guys, grade them on effort. And again, the more you have players that are good at getting open and catching the ball, now you find another criteria in which to criticize or separate them. How do they block? How hard do they play? How much of a difference do they make in the game away from the ball? So there's a lot of areas that you evaluate and grade my players. But again, get open, catch the ball. If you can do that, that's my base deal every week, and you'll be measured by that, and that's what it takes to win.
Caleb had some struggles with that the last couple of weeks, but obviously some pretty good plays so far. What have you thought of him?
The first game he was great. The second game he wasn't bad. I thought he made some really good plays in that game. This last game I thought he struggled a little bit, and I think he played a little bigger guy that was a little more physical. And then we had some plays that required him to fight with that guy a little bit more. But he still made some catches and did some good things. So, and again, he hadn't played much. We keep thinking Ducking's a senior and he's kind of an older guy, but his true experience is, he's still learning. So he's got to get better every week, and he will. And he's got a great attitude, and he's a good personality, and he's the type of guy you want on the field. So I look for him really to continue to do good things for us.
You mentioned kind of finding a way to get Tulu a little more involved. I mean, is there ever a situation where you would see Ra and Tulu on the field at the same time? I know they both play the same spot. But
well, people ask that. When they both have a great game, yeah, they both should play the whole game. But when one plays a little better than the other, and when Ducking plays well, or when we do our best in the offseason, the spring, to identify who we think our best 8 guys are and distribute them accordingly. So as time goes on, if those 2 guys are better than anybody else, yeah, those 2 guys will be on the field at the same time. But honestly, right now, I love those guys, and we do. We run fast and we run hot, and if I can get both those guys 40 snaps a game, that would be great for me. And then at that Z position, I think we need to find one or certainly 2 guys that can play 40 snaps there, as well as our intended hope for our offense.
Coach Leach had said that game at LSU wasn't one of Will Rogers' better games. I guess
that's probably fair.
How much?
When you say?
Yeah, how much? I guess when you assess that, does it go kind of hand in hand with the performance the receivers have, or was a lot of it was Will missing some guys in your opinion?
There's a lot of variables that go into quarterbacks playing well, but if you want to start with drops, that's a very, very good spot to say where a quarterback doesn't have as good a day. And the 3 drops that I think we had 5 as a group, 3 in my group. But I know my 3 were easy plays that were 60 yards more receiving for a quarterback. So, but there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that go into how the quarterback plays, and a lot of it has to do with who you're playing. So yeah, wasn't his best game, wasn't our best game. But again, my job is to get my guys open and catch the ball, and we got to do a better job of that.